Shut up and sit down. Romantic, isn't it? Shut up and sit down.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast.
Numero dos.
Yes. I was going to say the Ocho, but that's Dodgeball and that's episode 8, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, I gotta
About
save it.
6 episodes. I am one half of your hosting team, Murpho, and I am joined by my brother,
Dennis Murphy. Oh, so known as DMurph. Wherever
Yes.
you want to go, huh?
And we are back. We've got some wrestling. We are the brothers who talk about wrestling and games, the former WWE employee brothers. And we have got quite a bit of wrestling to talk about because there was quite a shakeup today, or this week, in the WWE.
This week, yeah.
And there was also a interesting debut on NXT this week.
That's true.
And we're going to be talking about some games as well. We're going to be talking about the Overwatch. There was an Uprising, I hear, in
Yes.
Overwatch.
An Uprising in Kings Row.
There's also an Uprising amongst Nintendo fans.
Very quickly. Hey, Unstoppable.
Hey, what's up, Unstoppable? Welcome to the stream. And yeah, so there's going to be a bunch of video game stuff. There's also just before we get into it, in non-gaming and wrestling news, but in nerd news, the Last Jedi trailer came out today.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, so good.
Looks
So
so
good. If you
good.
haven't seen it, go see it. Luke Skywalker says a line that makes me very like, what? A what?
Yeah.
But very exciting. It is very much a teaser. We don't really get much of the story, but I just wanted to throw that in there before we got into the wrestling.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and let's transition over, because I don't have a good segue from Star Wars to wrestling, because they don't really use lightsabers or force powers. They do use super human-esque powers in their choreography.
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe we could be like someone who's like a Jedi in that he had powers, but ended up failing miserably, like the Shockmaster.
You know what does a lot of flips? Jedi. You know who else does a lot of flips? Wrestlers. There we go.
Yeah.
Superstar Shakeup happened this week on Raw and SmackDown, and lots of people switching brands. The Intercontinental and the United States Championship switched hands, but we're gonna start on Raw.
Yep.
So did you get a chance to watch Raw?
I did watch Raw. I did not get a chance to watch SmackDown, but I did get a chance to watch Raw.
That's actually ironic, because I watched most of SmackDown, half of SmackDown, and didn't get to watch a lot of Raw. So
Well, I didn't get to watch SmackDown because my DVR decided not to record it for some reason.
that sucks. That's rough.
Yep. But the show started off with the first two superstars on the Shakeup coming over to the red brand, and that was The Miz.
I'm
Miz.
just blurry and trying to get the microphone to focus. You guys don't see this, but it's really weird on the stream.
Yeah. So The Miz came out with Maurice dressed as John Cena and Nikki Bella, and then Dean Ambrose came out with the Intercontinental Championship. So pretending like it was John Cena, and Miz had to be like, "I'm not John," and he was like, "Oh, well, in that case, dirty deeds."
Yeah.
So
It's a good way. It's a good way to transition that gimmick and get Miz Mauricio like a good amount of exposure at the start, and you kick things off with a bang because Miz is really still going with a full head of steam despite his loss at WrestleMania, and Dean is Dean Ambrose. He's a former member of Shield. He's the Intercontinental Champion, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He might not be the hottest thing at the going at the moment, but he's still a huge superstar, and hopefully going to Raw will help him in finding out what's going on, because he floundered at first, but that was also because he was put in a very kind of rivalry with Dolph Ziggler. But then he had a really good program with AJ Styles for a while until James Ellsworth kind of got involved, and then that kind of took the steam right out from underneath that rivalry, and Ambrose has kind of been muddling around ever since. So hopefully a change of brands will be good for him.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a little bit of jumping the gun, but with this whole Superstar Shakeup thing, I have a very weird feeling about it, because I feel like Raw got more star power onto it than SmackDown in general. Like, not much more, but I mean, like, they've got kind of more main event guys, people that you've seen more in the main event and everything on there. Like Miz, who, as he likes to point out, beat John Cena at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, the Universal Championship is now in the hands of Brock Lesnar, so we're not really going to be seeing these guys going after the brand's main title, unlike with SmackDown, which is something I thought was a little odd. But
yeah, that's gonna hurt Raw, unless Heyman's showing up often, or they got Lesnar to agree to show up more than normal. We'll get into it more when we talk about SmackDown, but SmackDown's kind of, if you look at it, SmackDown's kind of SmackDown and Raw are kind of becoming more like the SmackDown and Raw of like the early aughts. When the first brand extension or split, however you want to say it, happened, where you had like a lot of the world traveling indie darling workhorses on SmackDown, and you had more of the traditional brand of entertaining like superstars, still good people, but they bring more of the entertainment factor and the just the charisma factor, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Whereas the guys who on SmackDown are the guys now who seem to be the ones who travel the world in the indies, work their way up, and can put on like a 5-star match any night of the week that they want.
So it's more or less Raw is the entertainment and SmackDown is the sports to make up the sports entertainment.
That's a good way of putting it, actually. I didn't think about that. It's a good way to put it. So, yeah, what else happened on Raw after that?
Well, the big thing to talk about was Braun Strowman's attack on Roman Reigns.
I did see him flipping the ambulance, which there's no way a human being actually did that. I'm sure he had help with some machinery, but it's still a hell of an image.
The only thing that makes it seem somewhat possible to me is the fact that he has done so many strongman competitions.
That's true. Strowman is a strong man.
But I mean, also the way that they went about doing it, it looked like it was kind of fake. But
yeah,
I mean, overall, it was it was a pretty good angle. That part was a little weird. They had Strowman throwing him off a loading dock while strapped to a stretcher, which is kind of weird because it was like cut away and then cut back and blah, 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 and obviously pre-done. And the thing that was odd about it is the fact that, well, he landed over here, and then when it cut back, the stretcher was over here as if it magically moved. But before that even happened, the attack that Strowman did on Reigns, I thought that was good enough to be like, oh, well, Reigns is injured here. Because, I mean, like, he was throwing him through tables and hitting him with different pieces of equipment for the TV setup, like the equipment boxes and stuff, and he even gave him a running power slam onto a set of equipment boxes, so it was pretty good beatdown. And then there were the 2 extra surprises on there, which I think is their way of trying to make it so that way they could give Roman a definite, decent-sized break and move on to trying to get Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar back into the mix.
Now, here's the question that I have got to ask, and I see that we've got some people in chat. When you saw the beatdown, because I didn't see the beatdown, I just saw the ambulance tipping, was it made to look like Strowman was just where they were trying to do an injury angle? Or did it look like they were trying to make it so explicit that it was trying to make even the harshest critics and haters of Roman try to feel sympathetic for him? Did it feel like it was an attempt of a cop-out to keep Roman from turning heel and just try to keep shoving him down people's faces as a face? Or was it just trying to build up Strowman again and trying to establish some sort of rivalry for a number 1 contendership at the Universal Championship?
That's what I think it is. I think especially with Strowman confronting Lesnar and Heyman last week, and they were talking about how Roman Reigns is going to be probably the next number 1 contender. I think it was a matter of a way to get Reigns out of the Universal title picture for now, let it stay on Brock for a little while, and build up to have it be Strowman versus Lesnar for the Universal title. I don't think it was to try and do anything for Reigns other than to delay when his match with Lesnar would be, whether that be at SummerSlam or whatever, and start building towards, well, Braun is a very big guy. He could deal a lot of pain, a lot of punishment, and he's looking to get a shot at the Universal title with Brock Lesnar next. That's what that whole thing seemed to be about.
Okay. All right. And now, before we move on to the next subject from Raw, you can acknowledge some people in the chat if you would like. In the meantime, I am going to switch us over to a little bit of gameplay. As you guys see, we said that we would be doing Universe mode in WWE 2K17 as we were doing this. And Monday Night Raw, my show, is ready to go, ready to get started. So here we go. We are going to start my show. And I'm going to skip the intro stuff so that we don't get copyrighted on YouTube, the intro video, if I can.
I don't know if we can. I think you have to press a button and then
All
you just gotta kind of
here's
wait.
what I'm going to do. The Elgato's not making any noise anyway. Oh yeah, that's because I got rid of the music. I'm just gonna mute the Elgato anyway, just to be safe. But yeah, Raw is gonna get started. So as you go ahead and what's people talking about?
One thing I'll point out is Adam Ritt says that Enzo and Cass should have gone to SmackDown. I don't know how I personally feel about that. I feel like it's they're gonna be fine on Raw. It's just they need to start doing things more than just KFC golden whatever chicken commercials with them. They need to actually start doing more in-ring stuff and being more serious than just silly. I think they could do well on Raw. I think they'd probably do better on Raw than SmackDown. Mm-hmm. But it's just a matter if they have to do that. But everyone's up for their own opinions, I guess.
There we go. Now the show's starting. I switched over because I was like, why is it showing the TLC? Whatever. It's the Raw setup. It's Raw. Just ignore that TLC stuff. I don't know why that's there. I don't know why the Trons are showing
the
TLC.
theme of this night.
No, I must have accidentally pressed TLC instead of Raw. But Raw's coming from Honolulu, Hawaii, not TLC.
Yeah.
I'll fix that for next week.
TLC is a location?
Coming to you from Honolulu, Hawaii. That's what Raw's coming from, not TL. Yeah, that's what Raw's coming from Honolulu, not TLC.
It was a joke.
Okay, I was worried. I was like, what's going on?
Because the way you said it kind of made it sound like it's not coming from Honolulu, but it is coming from TLC. Mm-hmm. From Tender Loving Care.
So here's what we're doing. Ooh, Cam's in the chat. I know Cam.
Someone also is saying that, is AJ Styles a face now? I think he is. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see. Like I said, I saw SmackDown last week. I didn't get to see it this week. But yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do while we discuss further about Raw. What you guys are gonna be seeing is I'm going to play out Raw as the Raw general manager, and then Dennis is gonna play out SmackDown. What we're gonna do is we're going to be quick simming a few matches. Then we're gonna be watch simming a couple matches. Then we might. Then I think we're gonna play the main event. We're not going to show you who we're going to play as, but I'm going to show you guys my card for Raw. We are kicking things off with tag team action as the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods battles Connor and Victor. We're going to sim that. And the Ascension have beaten the New Day.
Whoa.
How's about that for Raw? Shaking things up and giving the Ascension a leg up and making them serious competitors.
Yeah, good for you.
And then I've got a promo with Roman Reigns, so we're going to watch this promo. And then we're going to sim a couple of title matches. Monday Night Raw, first night. Every single championship is on the line. I had to place hold some whatchamacallit, titles on people, but nobody's officially a champion yet. We have Roman Reigns, who is going to be in the main event tonight, battling for the Universal Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. We've also got the American Alpha battling the Hardys for the Raw Tag Team titles. Then we've got a fatal four-way action coming to you, showcasing some of the best talent that Raw's got to offer in Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and Chris Jericho. Then we're having an Intercontinental Championship match. Kevin Owens, former Intercontinental Champion, is going to go against Austin Aries. I'm giving Austin Aries an opportunity because I believe in AA, the greatest man who ever lived.
He's very good.
And then we've got some highlight action. Finn Balor is going to take on John Cena. And then you got your main event. It is a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal Championship.
Interesting.
To end the show. Because we go hard on Raw. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start this promo as we move on. We're going to show you guys what Roman's got to say. And then we're going to simulate and move on to SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let Roman do his own thing.
Cameron, I will have to say I agree with you, and I actually mentioned that very early on, that Raw has more like big name kind of current stars right now, and SmackDown kind of got somewhat lesser guys who are gonna be built up more as time goes on. But we'll see what they go with from there. And as far as New Day being moved to SmackDown, I think it was a pretty good idea just because of the fact of, SmackDown, their tag team division, wasn't really that great. You had some good tag teams and everything, but it was mostly just like Heath Slater and Rhino, guys who were thrown together. And with adding...
There we go.
Yeah, with the longest reigning tag team champions of all time on the brand, it should hopefully start building up their tag team division and make that better in general.
Yeah. Roman's trying to get everybody up into it. I'm sure nobody wants to hear it. All right, so we talked about the Roman Reigns thing. Authority members to take the scrotal. Oh, he's making fun of the Authority. All right, so we talked about the opening. We talked about the Reigns and the Strowman thing. And what else do we want to talk about? Want to talk about the other people who switched over to Raw? Anything else big that happened to Raw outside of the shake-up stuff?
The big thing that they also got on Raw, they also got Bray Wyatt. And he came out looking to start a feud with Finn Balor, which is something I was looking forward to for a long time. But now this kind of is another thing that muddies up this whole Superstar Shakeup a little bit for me because, that's a surprise. But now you've got the challenger for the WWE Championship moving over to Raw, which kind of makes it seem like Randy's probably going to retain and kind of takes the surprise element out of that match a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They did one good thing, which is, as far as SmackDown is concerned, with Kevin Owens, it's not necessarily Kevin Owens. It's whoever wins between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at Payback. Whoever wins the United States Championship is going to be going over to SmackDown. Yeah. Other than that, as far as Raw goes, they had some minor people go over. They had Kurt Hawkins come into the ring, showing that he moved on to Raw. And Big Show just kind of came out, laid him out, and then left the ring, and that was basically it for that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't know if you want me to bring this up, but can I talk about that thing that we discussed previously that I wanted to bring up quickly?
What's that?
In regards to SmackDown's announcers.
I
have a quick thing I want to say about
We'll go into that. I have my thoughts and opinions, but I will keep most of it to myself.
Here's what I had to say about it. Rumor has it that Morrow is not coming back to SmackDown because of JBL bullying him. There's been many reports over the years of JBL bullying people, and I've seen a lot of people saying a lot of negative things about him on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. One of the main things I saw was someone posting about how JBL is being drafted from SmackDown to the trash can. Kind of funny. But the main thing that I want to point out is, in this kind of situation, don't keep trash talking JBL. Don't focus on the negative. The best thing to do in this time, in my opinion, start tweeting at Mauro Ranallo and Facebooking him and things like that, telling him how much you loved him on the Blue brand, talk about how much you loved him as an announcer. Because, I mean, just talking negative things about JBL isn't really going to do anything. Maybe if you say some nice things, put some positivity out there, then maybe Mauro will be more likely to come back and announce. But, I mean, I think in my opinion, we've got enough negativity out there in the world. Just be more positive about things.
Yeah, I don't think Mauro's coming back. Based on what I heard, I don't think he's coming back. Mauro's always been a great guy when I've met him. I've only interacted with him a couple times, but he's always been really nice. It's a shame. And that's all I'm gonna say about it, because
Thoughts need to be said.
yeah. So yeah. Let's transition over. By the way, just a quick recap of that promo. It seems like Roman was insulted the Authority, said he wanted a match. He's gonna get it against Shinsuke for the title tonight, and he was saying that he was the best superstar and that he's gonna main event WrestleMania. So, and now for you guys, up next on Raw, we got you guys some tag team action, which I just realized. We've got the Raw music playing over, so I might not get this monetized. We have to remind myself to mute the Elgato whenever we go into loading screens, so we don't get the audio for the music, or I just remove show music from our shows. We don't know where Mauro's at now. I don't. A Superman, by the way, thank you for the host. We don't know where Mauro's at now. He's
not doing anything right now, but from what I've been hearing, he's looking into he's got some dates set up to do some more boxing matches for Showtime, I believe. And he's looking to get back into doing some announcing for MMA again.
Okay.
So he's not going to be just sitting around at home doing nothing. He's going to be busy. It looks like he's done with WWE for now, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, so we back over to Raw. We talked about Miz Maurice, Ambrose. Who else did we talk about? We talked about
Bray Wyatt. We talked about Kurt Hawkins. The big
Bray
one.
Wyatt stuff was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Another thing that I really liked that I want to point out was Alexa Bliss and Mickie James showing up on Raw.
Yeah, that's cool. Alexa is one of the hottest commodities in the wrestling right now. She is really awesome, and Alexa's gonna say that she didn't understand me. Oh no, she's not even gonna acknowledge that. I keep forgetting. I should probably unplug my Amazon Echo whenever we talk about Bliss, because that's going to activate my Amazon Echo. And I can turn this off. And here we go. You guys are going to get American Alpha. Here we go, guys. Raw Tag Team Title Match. American Alpha versus the Hardy Boys. But anyway, so we talked about those guys. Heath Slater and Rhino also came over, which was really cool.
Yeah, but it was just kind of in like a little message thing. Like, they didn't come out and do anything. I mean, on the list, we've got Apollo Crews, we've got Kalisto, and we've got Heath Slater and Rhino, who just kind of were announced that they were brought over to SmackDown, or over to Raw from SmackDown, but didn't actually make an appearance on Raw at all.
Yeah. So let's see, we've got that. It's interesting also now with Wyatt over there that, like, I mean, we've kind of established that Strowman wants nothing to do with the Wyatt family anymore, but it would be interesting if something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see a new Wyatt family. I think,
not.
you know what I think Bray Wyatt was moved over to Raw? Potentially so that way he could be on the same show as the Hardys. In case they decide to do the broken gimmick with the Hardys, they might be able to tie that in with Bray Wyatt.
That's possible.
And make that a 3-man group. But I don't know. We're yet to see, because the Hardys apparently have not been showing any signs of broken gimmick, and you know that's all thrown up with legalese and whatnot. And there are Matt and Jeff, speaking of the Hardy Boys. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, what could happen with them. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. We talked about Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, which was really cool. Mickie, of course, one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, but she's kind of just there. hopefully that'll change up with stuff now.
Made their women's division more interesting because it's showing. They did a little thing where Sasha stopped being nice to Bayley and was talking about how she was happy that Bayley won at WrestleMania, but that she wants a title match. But as she went to say that, Alexa came out and interrupted and was talking, and then Mickie James came out and interrupted. And then Nia Jax just kind of came out and destroyed everyone but Alexa Bliss. So it shows that there's at least, 4 or 5 people looking to go for the title now?
Yeah. So, yeah, the women's division definitely is deep on Raw. It's deep on both, which we'll talk about when we get to SmackDown. The other... what was it? The other stuff that happened on Raw, the other people who switched over was just Kalisto and Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Who, they weren't doing anything on SmackDown anyway.
Yeah,
They were kind of just sitting there, just...
Kalisto did have a nice feud with Baron Corbin for a while, but then after that, nothing.
Like, I don't know what's been going on with Kalisto lately. I think it's just been, like, the booking just hasn't...
Creative doesn't have anything for him.
Yeah, like, it hasn't been able to do anything for him because, like, he was on fire after that TLC match, and then he won the United States Championship, and then they made the mistake of putting him in a rivalry with Ryback with that, because those two did not click, and he has just been going downhill for him ever since. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully Cruz and Kalisto can find something to do on Raw. Anything else of note happen on the show before we transition over to SmackDown?
I don't really think there was anything else too much of note. It's not that I can remember right now.
Well, was there stuff going on with Rollins?
Yeah, with Rollins, basically with him, it was he came out talking about everything that he's done and how if he stays on Raw, he's going to have an enemy in Stephanie McMahon or whatever she comes back. But saying that, he's probably going to be sent to SmackDown because of Stephanie and everything, and that he would rather stay on Raw and fight and, get back at Samoa Joe and go after the Universal title. And then Kurt Angle came out basically saying that I believe one thing he said was, I respect you because, I won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. But you are the one-legged man who won in an ass-kicking contest. And said, so long as he's around, he wants to keep Seth on Raw. And then Samoa Joe came out, got a cheap shot on him. They brawled for a little bit, and Seth kind of sent him to the back.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that line by Angle.
Yeah,
you are the
really
man.
nice.
You are the one-legged man who won the ass-kicking contest. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So how's Kurt Angle doing as a GM, by the way, from what you've been seeing?
A lot of it has been, at least the majority of what we've seen is him talking with Sami Zayn, getting annoyed with Sami Zayn, someone coming in, interrupting his conversation with Sami Zayn, and then threatening each other, and him being like, enough, go to the ring, settle it there.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about anybody interrupting his discussions with Sami Zayn anymore, because Sami Zayn is on SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
How's that for
that's a good
little transition right there,
Yeah.
huh? Segue. Maybe the fact that he didn't get his conversations finished with Sami is why Sami's on the blue brand now.
Yeah, maybe.
But Sami went over to SmackDown Live, probably one of the biggest acquisitions for SmackDown Live. Though SmackDown did get, I remember after Raw, people were like, "But SmackDown's losing all their stars. What's gonna happen?"
One thing we forgot to mention about Raw that Cameron brought up, which is something I want to talk about very good. Apparently, Finn Balor got injured again. I don't know if you saw.
I saw the elbow. It was,
I saw it.
It was bad.
Yeah, that was very bad, and it's bringing up a lot of allegations that people have that
Gender works unsafe.
that not just that, but that he's hitting the roids. There's been rumor of that going around, and especially with the fact that he hit Finn like that and knocked him out. A lot of people are saying, like, he can't control himself now that he's been doing steroids, blah, blah, blah. He needs to be in check. So a lot of people are saying that.
They drug test regularly. I don't think he's on anything now. He was probably on stuff. If he was, like, based on what I've been seeing of his physique and everything and his mass and how much his veins are bulging out, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on something before or a lot of things before he came back to the E. But now that he's back with WWE, I don't know if he's on anything. If he's on something, he's either gonna get caught or he's trying to do or he's doing something that isn't on WWE's list right now.
I mean, word also has it that he has, since he's come back, that he hasn't gone through the wellness policy testing and stuff yet.
Yeah, well, Grand Amplitude. We have new champions. we have new tag champions? The referee's taking forever, but Matt Hardy's out of the way. No! Ooh, what a kick out by Jeff Hardy.
But, yeah, another thing that I heard that I thought was funny, apparently...
Wait a minute. Okay.
There were a bunch of fans that, after Raw, started a petition to get Braun Strowman fired for what he did to Roman Reigns. And then, of course, like a day after that, people then started a petition to get Roman Reigns fired.
For what he did to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But
anyway, back to SmackDown Live.
So yeah, SmackDown Live was pretty good. A lot of people, like I was saying, after Raw, a lot of people were saying like, oh my God, SmackDown has no superstars. It's like, it's a Superstar Shakeup. It doesn't all have to happen on Raw. They're going to have the transition on, like, the people coming over from Raw and SmackDown Live, and that's what they did. And Sammy was one of the big acquisitions. Ooh, Whisper in the Wind. Who competed in the main event, which was really, really good. The main event was so good on SmackDown Live. But we also got to see... the women's division get their share of people. I didn't like how Tamina was treated in that segment.
Yeah, I heard.
Because it was kind of like unfair to her. Because like she's put in like a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and they used her as a cheap fake out to like upset the crowd, so that way they would maybe pop harder when Charlotte came out, when she really did. They really didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a second Grand Amplitude. Can we have new champions?
Jeff Hardy.
Let's transition over here. 1, 2, 3. No, that's 2. Oh, Jeff Hardy kicking out again. Oh, what a match we got here on Raw for the tag titles. Gable. One. Well, Jordan just went in and out, like phased through the ropes, then went out of the ropes again. Okay. So, that segment, like, it kind of fell flat. Like, I was like, you kind of like cheapened Tamina's return, and the crowd didn't really get any more excited over the return of Charlotte. But still, switching Alexa Bliss and Mickie James with Tamina and Charlotte is a pretty good swap. Like, no complaints there. That's a pretty good swap.
Yeah, Charlotte's going to bring a nice caliber over to SmackDown with their women's division.
The tag division is getting the New Day, which is great. For SmackDown. They're going to be a lot of fun. It'll be good to have them over there. That'll replace, and I don't even think, it was just Rhino and Slater who came over from the tag division, really. So that's good. And that's good, too, because the Revival can now use that on Raw as saying we chased the New Day out, the longest reigning tag team champions in history.
Yep.
So that's a good feather to put into their cap. But aside from that, tag team wise, the Usos beat American Alpha in their rematch, which was, it all depends on what they do, with this. If that's the blow off, then that kind of sucks, because I want American Alpha to be the tag champs, but the Usos are good heels. But it looks like we might get Usos versus the New Day for the tag titles. Ooh, Twist of Fate. Is he gonna go for the pin? He's gonna go for the pin. Is that it? 1, 2. No, Jason Jordan breaks it up. Tag matches, they go on forever. So, with the, what was I trying to get to?
Tag titles.
Yeah, with the tag titles. Then the Shining Stars came out after that.
Yeah, I feel like if they dropped the whole Puerto Rico, hey, Puerto Rico gimmick, that they might start being good again. Because like I said, they were really good when they were just, Primo and Epico. But
yeah, and the crowd was flat. Just straight out flat for that match.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not so much for that match, but for the Shining Stars coming out. So, not a good start for them. Speaking of Jinder, he's now on SmackDown.
Yeah,
probably trying to keep him away from the SmackDown talent or the Raw talent as much as possible after he concussed Finn Balor.
Yeah, that was another thing, is they possibly are doing that as a way to punish him for what he did to Balor on Raw.
Yeah, Sin Cara also got swapped with Kalisto, which means we're not going to see the return of the Lucha Dragons, which I think would benefit both men, but we're not going to get that. Rusev and Lana got announced, which is huge. That'll give Rusev some much-deserved time. And
he could go after the U.S. title at some point.
Yeah, but he got announced separately from Lana, and it looks like they might be trying to build Lana up as a superstar. separate from Rusev because she had her own vignette, but the bad thing about it is it felt very Emelina-esque, which is not good. Ooh, third grand amplitude. Jeff Hardy's, this might be it. This might be it. The Americans Alpha's been all over the Hardy Boys here, but the ref's not counting the pin. The ref's is he gonna yell at Chad Gable?
I think it's the fact that Chad Gable might be the legal man. No.
No. But here's the pinfall anyway. Oh, what? Weird kind of glitches going. And Jeff Hardy is kicked out of 3 grand amplitudes. What is going on with this tag match? So yeah, like I don't know why they're trying to do with Lana, trying to make her into a superstar. I think she's best used as the valet and mouthpiece for Rusev.
I think so too, but we'll just have to wait and see what they do, I guess.
So that breaks down pretty much everybody who came over from SmackDown Live, and the main event was, for some reason, before I get to that, for some reason they didn't really build the WWE World Heavyweight Championship that much. Like, Bray Wyatt is still going to be battling Orton, but like, we know Bray's not going to win because he's on Raw now.
Yes, I have a feeling that they're trying to build up the U.S. title match because, I mean, you're going to have the winner is, I don't know if you want me to say already, but AJ.
Well, I was going to, talk about that later, but...
But, I mean, they're trying to build up their bigger name guys, and, I mean, they don't really want to focus too much on someone who's leaving their brand.
Yeah, but still, it kind of diminishes your main championship, and, like, what are they going to do with...
I mean, to be fair, though...
What are they going to do with Eric Rowan now? They just brought Eric Rowan back and paired him with Wyatt, and now Wyatt's gone, so, like... Rowan's going to be just in the shuffle again, unless I can make a decent singles competitor out of him.
Yeah.
Ooh, Swanton Bomb. Is Jeff going to pin him? Jeff's going to pin him. New champs? New champs won. Gable's not making the save. He doesn't see it. Oh! The Hardy Boys are your Raw Tag Team Champions. Chad Gable's beating himself up because they had control of this match, and he just decided to look away and pay attention to some fans on the outside and just no dice. So there's the first championship for Raw decided. The main event, well, I don't know what they're trying to do with the World Championship. Maybe they're waiting until after
Payback.
After Payback is all done and over with.
I mean, there is also the fact that they didn't really do anything with the Universal title on Raw. And the closest thing to anything with the U.S. title,
but I mean, Brock Lesnar's not there every week.
True.
But let's move on to the main event of SmackDown. The main event of SmackDown saw a triple threat match between Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and AJ Styles. It was amazing.
Sounds like
they went balls to the wall. Corbin continues to show that he's improving and getting better and better. Sami and AJ, you know what Sami and AJ could do. I thought Sami was gonna have it. Sami almost had it, but the ending ended up being him haluva kicking I said Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin off of the ring apron, and then just turning around right into a phenomenal forearm from AJ Styles.
Nice. Which
was really cool. I don't want to play this match. I want to sim this match, and I also do not want Elgato to play any music. I'll back out and we'll sim this match up. So yeah, that was really good, really cool. I don't know if you have any takes on SmackDown Live because you didn't get to watch it, so you're just hearing everything that I say.
And like I said before, my whole thing is just the people that they brought over. It's interesting, but I feel like more star power went to Raw than went to SmackDown.
You really think so?
Yeah, because I mean, you got Dean Ambrose who went over. You got The Miz. They're both people who have wrestled in huge matches at WrestleMania, in which, I mean, Kevin Owens just got his first big match at WrestleMania this last year. Mm-hmm. And he's like the biggest name, except for maybe the New Day, that got moved over to SmackDown. And like Charlotte Flair, like it's just, I don't know. I feel it. I mean, they also took like probably, in my opinion, the top person on SmackDown's women division, Alexa Bliss, and moved her over to SmackDown to Raw with one of their other top people of Mickie James, and they replaced with Tamina Snuka, who, when's the last time she was even mentioned on TV, and Charlotte Flair. And it just seems to me like it's just going to be Charlotte's probably going to end up running the women's division on Raw or on SmackDown. And like I said, it just seems like they put more like contenders and star power over on Raw than they did on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Not much more, but still more in general.
I think it was mostly an even trade. I see what you're saying, but so I'm looking over. I mean, really only Bray Wyatt. I mean, you got Bray Wyatt, Miz, and Dean going over there. But in return, you have Sammy, who is a good even swap for the Miz. You've got the New Day, who is probably a good swap for good replacement for Dean, like as far as star power goes. And you got Charlotte swapping with Alexa, so like I feel like it was pretty even.
And it was pretty even. Like I said, I think it's just a little bit more for Raw because those people have a little bit more time in the spotlight in WWE in general.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do because we're getting through our wrestling portion. I'm gonna simulate the Intercontinental Championship match.
Okay.
Because I was gonna like do a regular sim, but I got a quick sim for the sake of time. So let's find out who our Intercontinental Champion is. It's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beats Austin Aries and is your Intercontinental Champion. Then we got Finn Balor and John Cena. John Cena defeats Finn Balor, and now we've got our title match, which I am going to play, and I am not going to let you guys see who I pick. So here we go, and then you'll get to do SmackDown.
SmackDown Live.
And then I guess I'll let you simulate one matchup, and then play one matchup to try and speed things up.
Yeah, we can see. And we could even just sim most, if not all, the matches with time.
That's up to you.
Like I said, I'm happy with whatever ends up happening because I still got to set up my show, which is going to take some more time.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into this. Hit accept, and there we go. Now you guys don't know who I'm playing as in this title match. So that's all for wrestling. Oh, wait, there was one other topic about wrestling because a certain person returned to WWE at NXT.
Right. Drew.
I just like McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre came back on NXT this week.
I just realized Lillian Garcia is not seeing anything because I have stuff muted for announcements for my career. I got to remember when we do the Grapple Bros podcast to turn announcers on.
There you go.
So yeah, Drew, if you guys haven't seen it, came back to WWE. He is going to be in NXT. He's gunning for the NXT Championship. He had a match with Orny Lorcan, I heard.
Yeah, Orny Lorcan, yeah. Pretty good hand.
So that's really cool. I felt like Drew was the one member from 3MB, even though, I mean, I don't have a very high opinion of Jinder, but I have a very high opinion of Heath Slater, especially after working with him. But
Drew was always.
But
really
Drew, I feel like,
good.
was always the star who shouldn't have gotten let go out of the three of them.
I agree 100%.
So I'm really glad that he's back. And I hope that he tears it up in NXT. I hope he wins the NXT Championship. I hope he's back on the main roster by sometime next year, and that he's like immediately put into a United States or Intercontinental Championship.
That'd be nice.
Picture.
Yeah.
Cam also said, do you have any final thoughts on that? We'll get to what Cam said about SmackDown. Backtrack before we finish up with NXT.
I didn't really hear. Other than Drew coming out, and him having a match with Oney Lorcan, I haven't really heard too much about NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have too much to say about it.
Okay. So this goes back to what I was saying. Cam brought up that SmackDown might have a new SmackDown 6. The SmackDown 6 were famed group of workers that was from SmackDown that included the likes of Chris Jericho, I believe. Edge. Was Eddie Guerrero part of them? I think Rey Mysterio was also part of them. Also, that guy who kind of did a really bad thing that people don't want to talk about him anymore was part of it. But he's right. We might have a new SmackDown 6 because you've got AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, and I'm trying to think who else is on SmackDown that could be considered part of the SmackDown 6.
Maybe like Ty Dillinger. Maybe Baron Corbin. And you've got Randy Orton on there.
Maybe.
There's a bunch of people
Maybe. And yes, like I said, I had to placeholder this. So Roman is the placeholder champion for the Universal Championship right now. Huh?
Look at your screen.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to transition the scenes. So there you guys go. You got. Oh man, I had you guys missed Shinsuke's because I didn't do that. I'm sorry. You guys missed Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance. Here's Roman's entrance. So that I believe.
Rusev too.
You could consider Rusev as part of the SmackDown 6 because he works his ass off.
That he does.
So yeah, that's a wrap on the wrestling segment. We're gonna keep playing Universe mode. Now we're gonna transition over to gaming, and I'll let you take the reins on that.
Alright, so first thing I want to talk about is the new event in Overwatch Uprising.
Yes.
You haven't really played that much, right?
I have not gotten a chance to play it yet at all, which is upsetting. Outside of being able to shoot for the YouTube channel, the only thing I've really gotten to do is play a Destiny raid this week, so that's about it.
Okay.
But I definitely do want to play Uprising because I want to get some of those sweet Overwatch agent outfits.
Yeah, I've
and
played
skins,
a
plus the Black Watch Genji and Black Watch McCree looks sick.
Another thing that they have, which I didn't know, which I really want, is to have an ironclad Torbjorn, which is Torbjorn before he even had the eye patch thing on.
Oh wow.
Which is really cool. I've been playing a decent amount of it when I have the chance, both on the actual PS4 and through my Vita, because that's how I get to do it with kids. But I've been doing pretty good at it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy the fact that it's you and 3 other people versus a bunch of AI characters, a bunch of Omnics, the Null Sector as they call themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very fun mode. Can be difficult if you have people that don't want to, cooperate and choose a good meshing team member for the team, especially since it's only 4 people. I can't tell you how many games I've been in where everyone refuses to play a healer, so you don't make it even halfway through, especially on the harder difficulties. But I know myself, the only thing that I've really gotten that's interesting and from the event for any of the characters is I got the new highlight intro for Diva. Have you seen that at all?
Oh, the selfie
Yes.
with the... Oh, I'm jealous. That is such an awesome highlight intro.
Yeah, I got that, which I'm very happy about. But everything else, I've just been getting, player icons and things like that. I haven't really gotten any of the skins that I wanted, but them's the breaks as far as that goes. But yeah, the event is a lot of fun. Takes place in a daytime version of King's Row that takes place in the past. When you play, they've got the 2 separate modes of it. The one is where you're playing as the actual team that was sent in, which is Reinhardt, Torbjorn, Mercy, and Tracer on her debut mission. And when you play that mode, you automatically play as the characters in their Overwatch uniforms during that time, which I thought was really cool that you don't have to unlock it in order to do that. But it also would have been rather interesting for when I do that, because if you didn't do that and it was just whatever you had set, then they would be playing with Santa-clad Torbjorn a lot of people.
You get to play with those skins at the start. Does that mean that they automatically unlock them, or do you have to get them in multiplayer? That's what I thought.
Yeah, you still have to unlock them, but when you're playing in that specific mode, you are already in that armor. But like I said, in order to actually own it and use it in anything else, you have to unlock it through the loot boxes. Trying to remember what I was going to say next. But yeah, they've also got the mode where you could play as anyone throughout the entire Overwatch roster, which is really interesting. That's actually my preferred way of playing, because you can get through it pretty decently with the original team. But when I play, I like to play as people my main go-tos in it are, if I have to be, because the way I normally play it and like to have a team set up is you have one healer. Obviously, you need a healer, especially in something like that where you're getting attacked by a bunch of AIs. A tank, preferably one that can do some blocking, some damage absorption, things like that. One defensive character, preferably some Bastion or Torbjorn, and then one offensive character, which you would mainly want as someone who could move around without getting hurt necessarily, so that we could get in and take out the bigger guys that are coming in. And my usual go-tos for that, for the healer, whenever I'm a healer in Overwatch, I always play as Lucio. my
Lucio's the
favorite,
man.
and he's also probably the easiest healer to play as. But I enjoy Lucio. I can never get the hang of Zenyatta, although I think it's one thing that I did was I played once where I was Orisa, who's my go-to tank, because she can dish out some damage from a distance and set up a barrier and things like that. I played as Orisa, someone played as Bastion, someone played as Zenyatta, and someone played as Torbjorn. So I was like, oh, so it's 3 Omnics and someone who uses turrets against Omnics. Interesting. Yeah, as a tank, I play as Orisa. As a defense, I play as Torbjorn because I love playing as Torbjorn. I'm really good as him. I think at least I'm pretty good as Torbjorn. And then for the offensive character, when I go to choose that, because when I go to play, I just kind of wait to see what everyone else picks. I usually play very offensive as Reaper, just because that's who I'm most comfortable playing with on offense.
Yeah. So, how would you compare it to the Halloween PvE?
I like it
event?
better.
It's better than Junkenstein's?
I like it better than Junkenstein's event because, Dr. Junkenstein's event, because, I mean, that was definitely different, where, with Junkenstein's Revenge, it was all, both of them were all set up, but with Junkenstein's Revenge, you're just standing at the one door trying to shoot these guys down before they get to it, and then you also have to deal with, Reaper and Mercy and Roadhog and Junkenstein himself. This mode, they're going after certain targets, but I mean, it's not like, oh, there's a door, a flat surface you have to stand in front of. No, there's, first you have to go through checkpoints, take over checkpoints, so you have to watch out from all angles for that. Then after that, it gets to a, what's it called? Transport. Forget exactly what that mode is called. But when you're,
the one with the payload?
Yeah, the payload, that's it. Where you have to bring a payload to a certain area and have to defend it and all that from all these enemies coming from in front of you, from behind you, from side alleyways, things like that. And then at the end, you have to go through and you have to kill 4 specific enemies, which are basically their OR-14, so basically Orisa.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's basically 4 of those throughout the area, the power plant area of that map that you have to take out. So it's different. It's like 3 different modes combined into one instead of just one. And then you've also got less heroes in it. The closest thing to a hero that's in it is, like I said, Orisa, in which it's not technically her. But other than that, the closest you have is they have these shield guardian dudes that are kind of like Reinhardt. But other than that, it's like I said, it's a lot more variety. It's a little bit longer. And I at least find the story for it more interesting because it's actual events that took place in the Overwatch storyline as opposed to just a random Halloween event.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying that they wanted to give fans more of, because what fans wanted was more events that were focused around the lore of Overwatch, because Overwatch has a really rich lore which you don't really get to experience much in the game. It's in the main game itself.
Yeah, they don't really talk too much about it in the games. I mean, one thing that's also interesting that we found out from this event is the fact that I believe it wasn't announced until they came up with the skins for the event that McCree and Genji were both in the Blackwatch. So now we have 3 confirmed members of the Blackwatch.
I knew that in the lore that McCree was in the Blackwatch, but I didn't know until the comics and the event that Genji was.
Yeah. And also I liked how in the video, the trailer for it, you've got
Shinsuke's in trouble.
Yeah. In the trailer for it, you show all these different guys working together. You hear, McCree, Reaper, talking with Soldier 76 or Strike Commander Morrison, whatever you want to call him. And then you've also got Tracer training with Genji, which is how you see him in his Blackwatch armor during that. And the event overall, I enjoy. It's probably my favorite event Overwatch has done. Especially, I really want to get those Genji and McCree skins. Those and Torbjorn,
so sick.
Those and the Torbjorn Ironclad are my main what I want to get out of this event. And so far, I've gotten none of them, and they are all legendary skins, and that makes me very sad.
Very, very sad. Makes you sad, Panda.
Very sad, Panda. I'm a sad Panda.
Uh-oh, Shinsuke now. Shinsuke's getting fired up. Can I do it? Can I do his finisher? Can his finisher be done from the corner? No. Oh, doesn't matter. Kinshasa!
There you go. Corey Graves. Yeah, the Overwatch event overall, I'm enjoying very, very much.
It's good. Good to hear, because I'm looking forward to it. I really wish that you were able to do this from the corner, but...
Yeah. One other thing I want to bring up that I'm very excited about. I do not have a Nintendo Switch. I would like to get a Nintendo Switch. One game that they've announced you're going to be able to get on the Nintendo Switch now is, I believe it's called Jackbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party game where they have things like Quiplash and things like that. I am very excited that they're bringing something like that to the Nintendo Switch.
Wait a minute. 1, 2... No! Oh, I thought we had a new Universal Champion right there.
Would have been nice.
Alright,
That's
so...
going on.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to finish it up now, but it's just taking a while. So, Overwatch, what's next? What else is new in gaming?
Trying to remember what else we had to talk about. There's everything with Nintendo. Oh, there's the Battlefront 2. The trailer for that leaked. Looks very interesting. Looks like they're going to have the first...
Thank you to OWX League for the auto host. Sorry about that.
It's alright. Yeah, with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 leak, it looks as though it's going to have a story mode, which is going to have a female character as the protagonist for the Empire, or First Order, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the defeat of the death of Palpatine and everything at Endor.
Yes, the new, yeah, and we don't know whether, and we think, and it's that, and it shows that lady, and we don't know. Some people have been saying maybe that lady, she's not like fully, like gonna be like all Hail the Emperor, that she might change allegiances as part of the storyline.
Yeah, it might happen. I mean, it happened with Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Not Finn Balor.
Finn, yes, Finn, what's the numbers on him? FN 2817?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
Yes.
One thing I know there was I am not terribly excited for the game. I am mildly excited. I enjoyed the last Battlefield they came out with, but at the same time, I prefer the older Battlefield games.
Yeah, I think it'll be better. But meanwhile, third Kinshasa to Roman Reigns. Do we have a new Universal Champion? 1, 2, 3. We do.
There you go.
New Universal Champion crowned, a bloody Shinsuke Nakamura.
There you go.
Yeah, Battlefront 2. I'm really excited for it. Like, I'm kind of excited because it's Star Wars. But the first Battlefront, it was fun, but it wasn't a lot of like depth to it, I guess you could say. Like, it was hard to for it to hold my attention for too long, and that might also be because a lot of my friends who played it, their attention spans were gone. Like, they didn't hold their attention for long either. But we'll see. There's still a lot to go by. It looks interesting. It looks like we'll get space battles and stuff like that. And the campaign looks like it's gonna be good. So that's all good things, all good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing with it is the fact that I prefer, like I said, I preferred the original Battlefront games, but that's because of the fact that you had, instead of it being going after specific points, it was several points on the map that you could go at a different time, and there was a lot of AI characters, so it made it feel more like you were more of like a elite soldier in the armies on whatever side you play as, rebels, imperials, clones, whatever you wanted to do. And I feel like we kind of miss out on that with this game because it's not as heavily done, where it's just like one control point to another and it's a bunch of active people instead of a bunch of AI. So I feel like it's different, and I preferred the older games for that way.
It might be more like that, because from what I've been hearing, they've been paying attention to their... they've been paying attention really to the fans, and a lot of people seem to really like what you call it, Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2. So it seems like they're going to be doing a lot of stuff very similar to Battlefront 2. Like, I think that might be what they end up doing. So yeah, really cool information, cool stuff. Did you discuss the digital refunds yet?
I did not.
Okay, so switching over, Microsoft digital refunds. Microsoft has apparently begun testing refunds for digital games, but it's not going to include DLC. And you have to have played the game for at least 2 hours to be eligible for the refund. Which is kind of weird, because if you haven't played the game, would you think, like, I played this game, but I don't want to play it, I changed my mind, I would like a refund? You wouldn't think they would do that. But then again, people can... because even from the standpoint of, well, people can just buy it and then get refunds for nothing. It's like, but you still have to pay for it digitally. Get it digitally. Yeah. So that's weird, but it's cool, because up until now, it's kind of groundbreaking, because up until now, even Steam doesn't do refunds for games, as far as I know. If people in the chat know and want to correct me, please do. But, like, this is the first time, like, you'll get refunded if you try out a game and you don't like it.
Yeah. And it's also interesting that, they don't have it for, what's it called? For DLC, which I think is kind of not nice overall. Yeah, you could get a refund for a full game, but a DLC, which is even cheaper, you can't do it. Then again, it's still in, I think, alpha testing, so yeah, they may change that. But
here are the full details. Games and apps are eligible for self-service refund within 14 days of purchase. So you have 14 days after you buy it, and you'll have to have played, if you have less than 2 hours of playtime. So not at least, it's less than 2 hours.
2 or less, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 hours or less. So basically, if you've played over 2 hours and you got into the game and then you change your mind about it, you can't get a refund. But if you played it and it's really, really buggy and you only got like an hour into it and you really can't stand it and you change your mind, you can get a refund.
Yeah.
DLCs and season passes are not eligible. The game or app must be downloaded and launched before requesting a self-service refund, which kind of goes with the fact that you have to have played 2 hours.
Yeah.
You must wait at least 1 day after the game's app's release before requesting. So basically, after the first day and before the 14th day. Certain Windows 10 apps may not be eligible for self-service refunds, and Microsoft reserves the right to block access for users who abuse self-service refunds. So if you're buying if you want to, like, I guess what they mean by that is, like, a lot of people who are just buying games and refunding games and treating this refund service like a rental service.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't think that you're going to be able to buy games and be like, oh, I want to try out like all these fall blockbuster games before I make a decision. I'll just play for an hour and 45 minutes and then refund. Don't do that, because there's a good chance Microsoft will be like, nah, bro, and you will be stuck with a very large video game bill.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, but I think that's really cool that Microsoft is doing a refund system. I feel like it's long overdue in gaming. For digital, and it's going to help make people more receptive to going all digital.
Yeah,
because that was one of the big things about the Xbox One when it initially launched, going full digital. People were like, well, what if I want to return the game?
Yeah,
and it's like, well, you can't.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people had a lot to say about. I remember I was working at GameStop at the time, and a lot of people were very unhappy about that.
Yeah, but now with this, you can buy a game digitally, and if you don't like it and you want to return it after the first 2 weeks, or you have only played like an hour and a half, you can return it and get your money back. So that's good. I think that will really... I would like to say it would help move Xbox One sales, but we're so deep in the console cycle. Maybe it'll help boost Scorpio sales, because Scorpio is already going to be one of the most powerful system to date. If you have a 4K TV, that's probably the system you want to go with. And it also has the backwards compatibility with all Xbox 360 and Xbox titles, I believe. Yeah. So that's just another feather in the cap, or another thing that, notch in the belt, whatever metaphor you want to use, like a piece of evidence that that Microsoft can use to help drive people to the Xbox One, and also the Scorpio build hype for the Scorpio.
Yeah.
So all good things there. I think it's awesome. I really hope that the PlayStation Store and Steam follow suit if Steam doesn't have it yet. What happened to 2K17, Adam? Dennis is just he's setting up his card for SmackDown, so it'll come back once his card is set up.
Yeah, which I will hopefully be done with soon.
All right. Yeah, he's almost done. He's got like 1 or 2 more matches to sort out. Moving on to news about Uncharted. The new Uncharted game starring Chloe and Nadine, called Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It is coming out this year, this August.
Yeah.
Late August. I did not expect that. When I saw the trailer last year, I'm like, oh, that's like 2 years away.
Yeah, apparently it was originally set up to be
like a DLC or expansion for Uncharted 4?
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Nadine kind of just disappear. We don't see Chloe in Uncharted 4, which was upsetting. And also, as a result of that, it's going to be $39.99, not a full $65 as regular games are.
And if you've already purchased the DLC for the game, it's going to be free for you.
Yes. So let's see. So wait, it's going to be free for everybody who... Yeah, there it is. The standalone... This is from Polygon. The standalone adventure, which Naughty Dog has been billing as a true Uncharted game, will cost $39.99 in the US and $49.99 in Canada. The Lost Legacy grew out of a project that was originally a single-player story add-on for Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, and players who previously purchased that game's downloadable content will still receive The Lost Legacy free. So basically, if you bought the Season Pass for Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
If you bought Uncharted 4 and you bought the Uncharted 4 like Season Pass, you will get Lost Legacy for free. Which kind of makes me want to buy the Uncharted 4 Season Pass, depending on how much that is. And Braddock Gaming, or Braddock Gaming, I hope so. Yeah, it's the 22nd. I'm a huge Uncharted fanboy. Uncharted 2, one of my favorite games of all time. We used to joke when it came out that Uncharted 2 was one of the best action movies we've ever seen in a while.
I always like to joke around saying that it was like Indiana Jones, but with slightly less Nazis.
Slightly less Nazis, but a lot more murder.
Yeah. Less Nazis, and they're less alive, but Nazis nonetheless.
Yes. So that's coming August. I'm sure we'll see a full blowout at E3 at Sony's press conference. That'll be exciting. I can't wait. I was expecting another year for this, and it's coming in August, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is.
I cannot wait. So, and also for those of you who are wondering, thinking about getting the downloadable content for, are you all set up for SmackDown, by the way?
Yeah, I'm set up. I think I'm just going to sim through the matches.
So we are going to bring this back. You're just going to do a quick sim through everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's start the show. I have everything muted so we don't get in trouble with WWE, hopefully.
There you go.
So, this is, if you want to go the downloadable content route, not the Lost Legacy route, it's a lot, it looks like. No, it's 25, the Lost Legacy stuff where you would get it for free, so you're actually going to save yourself a lot of money, it looks like.
That, I have to point out right now, that is actually no longer available.
Oh, it's no longer available.
That was ended in December.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yep.
So you can't get it now, but if you did get it, you paid $25 for it. It included the Explorers Pack, which replaced the Lost Legacy, as well as it came with the Digital Deluxe Edition. And then, yeah, there's the Lost Legacy. So it was like a $25 season pass thing, and you get the Lost Legacy for free, which is going to cost other people $40. So you lucked out if you went and bought the Uncharted 4 DLC early. Mm-hmm. And there we go. There's SmackDown getting started.
Finally.
And then, so, oh wait, there was an update there. Hold on, let me check the update. There was an update at the end of that article that we might have missed. Update, Naughty Dog has amended its announcement post to say that the Lost Legacy, it'll release, it's August 22nd in North America, it's August 23rd the following day in Europe.
Yep. Alright, here comes the show.
Alright.
So, I'm just going to quickly say that I'm doing a tag title match just for the heck of it, just that way there could be a tag title match on here, but that I am following the ways of Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon of having SmackDown be all about opportunity. And so I have all of my singles championships defending in fatal four-way matches. So to start off the night, it's a tag team title match between the Usos and who I have currently set as the champions, at least for now. Gallows and Anderson, part of the club. Rusev, for the heck of it, is going to have his own promo, get himself out there. Fatal 4-way title match. Natalya versus Nia Jax versus Charlotte versus current champion Alexa Bliss. That should be nice and fun. I've got Miz versus Titus O'Neil. I wonder how that's probably going to go.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing and it's going to happen. Then Fatal 4-way for the United States Championship.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger versus Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper. Neville versus Apollo Crews. Thought that'd be a nice one to match. And then AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
How's that for a title match?
Yeah, exactly. Starting it off with a bang, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. So, gonna start off the show. Stimulate with the tag title match. And Gallows and Anderson retain. Rusev, you did your promo and were interrupted by Neville. All right.
Yeah, he got interrupted. There we go.
Good for you. All right, let's see who the women's champion is. Or should I do quick sim?
Let's do quick sim, and then if you want to simulate the main event or play the main event, we can do that.
I'll do a quick sim for everything except for the main event. All right, so let's see who's our new women's champion. And it's, Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Wow.
The women's division is officially blissed off.
Yep. That's
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I said Bliss, not Alexa. Alexa, silence. Silence you.
All right, I wonder who's going to win this match. Miz versus Titus O'Neil. Oh, the Miz one. What a surprise. Let's see who the new United States champion is. I'm very excited about this. Survey says...
I'm hoping it's perfect 10.
Oh,
Ziggler. The Zigman. The Zigman. I was hoping for a perfect 10 champion for you.
So was I, but we will see what happens in the future from here.
Yeah.
Neville versus Apollo Crews, and Neville wins. All right, now let's...
You can choose to sim or play. Do you want to sim or play?
You know what? I'll play this. Since I'm going to have it actually show on TV, I'll play it quickly.
Okay, we'll switch over here
hopefully
so that
that'll
way
make the
they'll
match go
initially
quicker.
see who you're going to be picking. All right, and as you pick, we're going to move over to news in gaming and swatting.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain, for those of you who don't know what swatting is, basically it's very popular with Twitch streaming and with streaming games, mostly Twitch and YouTube, so do not do it to us because that's not cool.
Yeah, very messed up.
Basically, it's when when a troll or a bunch of trolls will you can do it to anybody, but a lot of people will do it with Twitch streaming and stuff like that.
Just, I think because of the time of how long this is going on, I'm going to skip the entrances.
Go ahead and skip the entrances. As we go over here, as you're skipping the entrances, we are back. I will turn the audio back on, so we get the audio. Basically, what that is if anybody's streaming or if you just want to be a bully, you will basically call 911 and basically like say that there's like a terrorist activity or something going on at this address, and you give the address of the person who lives there, and then they send a SWAT team basically to break down your door and cause chaos, and then the people will watch the SWAT team basically break in on this streamer's house and mess with them. It's really not cool. It's really messed up. And people are actually starting to finally get charged for it and arrested for it.
Yeah, it's about time.
Coming from, I believe, is this Polygon as well? Also coming from Polygon, the site says, 2 people have been charged in relation to a prank phone call that led to one man being shot twice, once in the face, by tactical police officers in Howard County, Maryland. The swatting was allegedly orchestrated because of a disagreement over an online game. So apparently these 2 people, I guess they were why you mad, bro? They were mad. They got salty, super salty, I guess, over losing a game or something. I'll just continue to read. The Independent reports that Robert McDade, a 21-year-old from Coventry, England, so this happened in England, I guess, is the first, or...
Yeah, one of the people who performed the swatting lived in England.
In England, but it took place in America. England is the first British... he's the first British citizen to be charged in the UK for swatting. And his alleged accomplice, American Zachary Lee, was also indicted last week, according to the Baltimore Sun. McDade and Leader said to have telephoned a terrorism hotline posing as Tyron Dobbs. The phony Dobbs claimed to have barricaded himself inside his home with hostages and explosives and demanded $15,000 for a safe release. Police took the threat seriously, and when they began to move assets into position, including a special weapons and tactics team and, according to one witness, an armored vehicle. The real Tyson Dobbs, who is the person that was there, was inside the house and tells his local ABC affiliate He was asleep when the SWAT team roused him. In a tearful interview, Dobbs' father said he was outside the apartment pleading with officers to stop when they shot his son. So he was shot twice by non-lethal bullets. So he's alive. He's hurt, but he's alive. Like some bad bruising. Like even the non-lethal bullets hurt. And I wouldn't be surprised if those fake bullets can like break orbital bones if you're shot in the face.
Yeah, that's been known to happen.
Yeah, they shot him to prevent him from retreating back into the apartment. And then the game the three men were playing at the time of the disagreement is not known. But basically what happened was that after he was shot by the SWAT team, they found out that he wasn't obviously a terrorist. They ended up figuring out who did it. They traced the call, I guess, and they arrested these two men. So finally, people are getting punished for swatting.
Yeah, it's about time.
Which is long overdue because it has been a epidemic in the streaming community and in the gaming community of people just calling up police forces and sending SWAT teams. It ruins at least the day, if not the lives of these people, and costs them a lot of money because sometimes in these situations doors get kicked down off their hinges, stuff like that. Property gets damaged, people suffer injuries, get violently taken down, have to deal with being arrested and arraigned and going through fingerprinting, the emotional and mental scarring that comes from that. Plus the fact that the police are using these assets, it's police money, taxpayer dollars that's going to sending these police officers out on these things.
Exactly, it's a huge waste of money to do this.
So it's a waste of money too. So it's good to see that people are finally getting punished for all of this. And then into our final news story of the day from gaming. The NES Classic is being discontinued.
Yep.
As I said before, we are having a Uprising event in Overwatch, and we are also now having an Uprising event in Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not happy that the Nintendo NES Classic is being discontinued. I had read a little bit about this. Here's what I believe that this is what Nintendo said about the reason why they are no longer going to be producing the NES Classic. They said throughout April, Nintendo of America territories will receive the last shipments of Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition systems for this year. We encourage anyone interested in obtaining the system to check with retail outlets regarding availability. We understand that it has been difficult for many consumers to find a system. Understatement of the year.
Yeah.
For that we apologize, which, I don't know, Nintendo has a history for deliberately not shipping enough products, hardware. They did it with the Wii. They've done it with the NES Classic. It's happening now with the Switch.
Yep.
So I don't know how sincere of an apology that is. We have paid close attention to consumer feedback, and we greatly appreciate the incredible level of consumer interest and support in this product. So that sucks because pretty much since the NES Classic has first released, your only chance of getting one was basically standing outside of a store at like 3 or 4 in the morning and rushing in once the store opened, or hoping you were one of the first in line to get a number for it.
Yeah, exactly. I know I was hoping to at some point get one, but that's definitely not going to happen now.
Yeah, so was I. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen for me either. I play sports games. You pretty much missed almost the entire podcast. We're kind of towards the end. You'll be able to catch the replay. But yeah, it sucks. I kind of understand why Nintendo's doing it. My bet is they wanted it to be a hardware holdover until the Switch came out, also to build stuff up, and they probably don't want sales of the NES Classic to impact sales of the Switch.
Probably, yeah.
Which is also in and of itself, it's a damn near.
Pause quickly. Sorry about this. I just completely forget.
It's a damn. Well,
Okay,
now we know
right.
who you're playing as,
Yep.
but
They already.
it's a damn near miracle to get a Switch as it is right now too. But it sucks because there's like a lot of people who still want an NES Classic, and I think Nintendo either they deliberately undersold it to drive up demand, or they really did not. They really underestimated what the demand was going to be for the product. and fans suffered. And now scalpers are going to be able to jack those prices up so ridiculously high for those things.
Yep.
It's insane. So yeah, that's the thing about that. So if you really want an NES Classic, after April, it's done. So I suggest you go and try to find yourself a store that's going to have them in stock. Find out when they have in stock and be prepared to pull an all-nighter.
Basically, yeah. Need some mojo.
So that's really, really rough with the NES Classic. And that's pretty much all the gaming news we have for the podcast. However, Braddock Gaming asked, what do we want to see announced at E3? So we can talk briefly about E3. It's I think it'll be a while before we do a full E3 extravaganza blowaway video or episode.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure we'll want to talk about, like, probably break down what each company will be doing, probably in a podcast individually each. For as far as announcements, I was never a big Borderlands fan, so I don't know if I would be excited about Borderlands 3. More Kingdom Hearts 3 info would be amazing.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 was really good. I would love to hear a Final Fantasy 16 announcement, but I will, considering Square was saying basically Final Fantasy 15 was it's successful and the series lives on, it's not and the series dies kind of thing. I'm pretty sure they don't have anything. They're probably planning Final Fantasy 16 now that Final Fantasy 15 was a success, but they probably don't have anything to show. I'm trying to think, what else do I want to hear? I want to hear more about Red Dead Redemption 2. That's not so much an announcement, but I really, really want to know all about Red Dead Redemption 2. And since Red Dead Redemption's coming out, we probably shouldn't expect anything along the lines of an announcement for like a GTA 6 or a new LA Noire.
Looks like the match is over, possibly.
2. No, I'll go full screen as we show this. Randy Orton almost just got it with an RKO out of nowhere on Samoa Joe.
Kind of wish he did, because this match to end already.
Well, Joe might be looking to finish things here. He's got himself a finisher. Uh-oh, AJ. It's all AJ and Samoa Joe now. I'm trying to think, what else? From Nintendo, more stuff on the Switch, the Switch Mario game. I'm trying to think, what else is out there? What other series? Probably not another Uncharted game. Another BioShock game is probably way out, never gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know. Is there anything on your mind that you can think of?
I mean, they're probably gonna announce another Assassin's Creed game.
Oh yeah, that's right. We haven't seen an Assassin's Creed game. It's probably the next installment in Assassin's Creed. I don't know if it's gonna be any good. Do you have any predictions for like where you think the setting's gonna be if they announce it?
My guess, Egypt.
That's what I was thinking too. Potentially Egypt. Oh, what's this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it because of Orton.
Oh, he's dazed.
And Joe is up.
Joe's up, but Joe's doing something to Orton. 1, 2, 3. We have a winner.
Go. AJ Styles.
AJ Styles is your WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Match is finally over.
So a hell of a match, and it was a Styles clash and a distracted Joe and Orton. So we have Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles as your champions right now.
That's true. Woo. Yeah, AJ. So now, currently on SmackDown, the Club is running the joint.
Oh, the Gallows and Anderson won the tag titles?
Are the tag champs. And AJ is now the World Heavyweight Champion. Well, WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
All right. Cool. So that is it. We have NXT. I don't know. We might do a quick sim video of it for people on Patreon. We might not. We might just sim through it, and you guys might just have to wait until NXT until next week.
Yeah, or it might just happen a little later.
Because we went pretty long today.
Yeah, I think for now on, I'm just gonna sim SmackDown.
sim matches.
Just quick sim.
Sim everything, but quick sim for everything but the main event.
Yeah, because this is taking a while.
I think quick sim for all but one match. That was our first trying to get a playthrough of the universe mode a week worth while we podcast for you guys. Hope you guys dug it. Any last words, final thoughts?
I'm good.
Nope. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope we catch you guys next week for all the good wrestling and video gaming stuff and general nerd stuff. So enough listening to us, enough watching us. There's hockey playoffs going on for sports people. There's a new Star Wars trailer for you guys. Go find the Star Wars trailer. Go watch the Last Jedi trailer because awesome stuff.
Very, very good.
The hype is real. So that's all for this week, guys. I hate you. That's another thing that happened. What was it? Mojo and Gronkowski happened last week also, didn't they?
That was WrestleMania.
Or no, this week. We didn't talk about that. Gronk got involved with Jinder on Raw because the Hype Bros went over to Raw.
Okay.
And Gronk, because it was in Boston, and Gronkowski was in the front row, and he threw a drink at Jinder. And then Jinder lost to Mojo.
Was WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Or no, that was SmackDown.
Yeah, right.
SmackDown. Because Jinder went to SmackDown and he battled Mojo, I guess.
Yep.
But I know that happened. All right. So that's all for that. Sorry about that little tangent, but we are done. For Dennis, I have been Mike. L Murpho and DMurph are signing off.
Don't forget to hook the leg.
All right, we're just gonna end it there.
I haven't come up with anything yet.
Yeah, don't forget to do a hook. Don't forget to hook the leg, as he said, and do a flippy thing, guys. All right,
Flippy things.
enjoy your games. Enjoy your wrestling. Take care.
Peace.